If you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Welcome back, everybody. We are here to talk about the incessant love of creating and how being in love with so much creation is actually taking you farther and farther away from the success in your business. Welcome, everybody, to Amplify Your Marketing Message. I am your host, Campbell Rapin. I have a love for the creator. And truthfully, right now, the coolest thing I think about the world is that we are in the rise of the creator. It is an incredibly exciting time. However, your desire to constantly be in creation mode is actually killing all of your momentum. And I want to bring to you today, with a lot of love, but some clear guidance, how to fall into success and create a thriving business as a creator. Here's the truth. If you are leaping from a new offer to a new offer, from one program launch to another program launch, you are probably hardly breathing. You are probably living in this endless cycle of overwhelm, and you are exhausted, you're discouraged, and chances are with each new thing, you are getting diminishing returns. If it's you, I will tell you that that is normal given the inputs that you are delivering in your business. Here's one of the things that is most mind-blowing to my clients when they first come to work with me. We talk about what does success look like, and everybody's version of a business empire differs. Some want to work with 3 or 5 or 10 clients a year. Others want to work with a much larger amount of people. But what is true is I don't judge your vision of a business empire. Whatever it is, I am here to help you get it and become a reality. And the truth is, that's your choice. Having said that, business needs to be about durability, sustainability, and it is about an engine, which is why you hear me so often on this platform. And if you ever come to see me speak at one of my events, I talk about a client growth engine. I want you to have 100% certainty that you know where your next client is coming from. Because when you do that, you stop feeling like a one-hit wonder. You stop feeling like you incessantly need to create, and you stop the stress ball that 3 o'clock in the morning wakes you up and puts you into a cold sweat as you're thinking, wow, I've got all these bills that are due. Where the hell is my next client? So let's not do that. Hands in. Are you in with that? Seriously, hands in. Let's commit to this. Because the truth is, business is boring. To be successful and to be an engine, Coca-Cola has been selling the same thing for a lot of years. So is Apple. So is all the big name household brands. They have a product that is enduring, and they're not constantly requiring a brand new creation to carry the weight of the client growth. Yes, there are pops of creativity. Yes, there are limited editions, but that is icing on the cake and not a foundational play. So here's what I tell my clients. Business is boring. I want us to build a client growth engine that leads you to 80% of the available capacity in your business, knowing all the while that capacity is a solvable problem. You can go from solopreneur to a team, from a team to a large organization, from a large organization to an international multi-level enterprise. That is choice, your play. But what is true is that we need to build 80% capacity. And that means 80% of our offer is the same 365 days a year, year after year. Yes, we innovate and we improve it, but we're talking 1% improvements of a really stable core offering. In other words, it's the simple answer to the question, what do you stand for as a business? In my business, Clear Acceleration Inc., I stand for a client growth engine. That has been the same since I started my business in 2018. It's the same today. It'll be the same in 5 years. I am about helping you find and solve the riddle. Where's your next client coming from? You want to build a product stable that is 80% of your capacity. Because at 80% capacity, you have no problem paying your bills. You have no problems in your cash flow as long as you are invoicing and collecting well, which is basic business skills. You might need team to help that if you're not going to make the phone calls yourself. But at 80% capacity, you have certainty. You know what you do. You know how you do it. You know where you're going to play. You know what makes you the must hire. And you initiate and lead disciplinedly the offer. When you're at 80% capacity, business is boring. And that's the goal. Okay, let's be clear. That is the goal line. Business is stable, predictable, and all of us are confident we know what we're doing. But that leaves room. That leaves room for that 20% extra, that extraordinary. And extraordinary comes in a lot of different ways. And again, this is where you get to play your game. 20% could be used for taking time out of your business. It could be spent on innovative, fun, collaborative opportunities that come your way. It could be into those special projects that you have had on that wish list, writing a book, doing an event, putting together something that you have always had on your bucket list. You have spare time at 20% capacity to do those things so that you have a today activity, not a someday result. And in that 20%, you also have that space to test, market new things, but things that will be ancillary, supporting cast members to the core offer. Because so many people get lost in the weeds by having this idea that you should be all things to all people. Stop it. People are looking for specialists who will solve a problem. So in my business, I said I stand for a client growth engine, helping you know with certainty where your next client is coming from. That is the core offering. And the other 20% are other ways that you still get to that, but feed into my main offering. So I have 2 core offerings in my business. You can work with me as a private client in a one-to-one business scale accelerator, or you can come into one of the group programs. Both of those options lead you to the core result, which is consistent, profitable, frequent clients. But in that 20% play, I have events that still talk about those core things, events that are about collaborative partnerships and books and speaking projects. And yes, this podcast is part of that 20% that all still feed my main engine. See how it works, my friends? I can feel the light bulbs going off from here on the screen and in your earbuds. To avoid the pitfall of over creating, you need to get your head around the concept and 100% buy into my goal line is 80%. I want a stable, boring business because in boring, you have fun. And you get to choose your offer. Let me just dial this back a bit. When I say boring, I'm not saying uninteresting. I'm saying boring as in I chose it. It feels like oxygen, and I'm going to run this play repeatedly year after year after year after year. And I know that when I talk about this, this will still be relevant when somebody finds this content years ago because I have a true north. And I see so many people caught into the I don't know what I stand for. So I don't have a true north. That's why I constantly create. And that leads to this epic thing I see in the marketplace. I want to fall in love with being a business owner instead of falling in love with being a business owner. Because it isn't about constant launching. Without a doubt, any successful business owner says, I do not lack ideas. And 80% of my ideas never see the course of light. But those that do become engines, and we run the play, and we get known for this so that we become the destination, smart money choice for our next buyer. And we're really disciplined about building that engine. And we're really disciplined about understanding that marketing, sales, and operations are all needed. And the best way to see results is to link those in any pattern we choose, but in a pattern that repeats, to have that stability, to have that certainty. Because when your client is out there, they are not certain. They know what they're looking for, but they're scared to get it because it's going to mean commitment, change, and action. They also desire that. And when they know it's worth it, opportunity exists. So now that I've just totally blown up your mind, I've watched half of you have your ears come down from your shoulders and you had this great sigh of, oh, I'm so glad you said that, because truthfully, all I see around me is this incessant bzzz of creation and I'm exhausted. Thank God, Christine, you came to this day. I'm so glad I listened to this podcast episode because I could buy into boring. In the other half of the room, you're crying at me saying, but I want to create. Here's how you'll do it, my friends. Because I didn't say that boring was uninteresting. I said boring feels like oxygen when you know your true north. So if you want to play in the world of creation, I don't want a brand new, net new offer every season unless you are a fashion label or a beauty brand, in which case you do stay in that cycle. But for everybody else, innovation is incremental. What that means is you can refine your existing offer so that people get faster results. They get improved features. Maybe you're adding AI to held this through line a little more consistently. But you are refining 1%. And 1% can be a huge competitive advantage with a lot of dollars that follow it. So do not get lost in the boring. It's honestly where all the sizzle is, because it's the sexy results that are generated from incremental, stable structures. Second thing you can do is you could streamline things so that you get laser focused to better attract your ideal client. And that means really diving into the deep end, really diving into the dark, and really putting blinders on to what your competitors are saying because you don't want to sound exactly like them, but getting really clear on why you are the must hire. What is your opinion, your expertise, your experience that somebody will see as different and right so that you are the right hire. You can also innovate in growth, which means you can expand the volume, expand the capacity so that you serve more people. And that will rely on back-end structures to be optimized in order to still have a great experience for your client base. Because remember, nobody pays you because you're cute. Nobody pays you because you got great graphics. Nobody pays you for your website or your logo or any of that trim around the window frame. What they hire you for is results. So you can grow your audience and serve more people. You can often also create around expansion. And what I mean by expansion is by elevating touch, contact, so that you are serving a more personalized service for a higher valued outcome for such as private coaching, retreats, experiences, masterminds, but you're still delivering the core result, but you're doing it in an elevated way. Or how about you get excited in the creation of an existing offer by extending it, By thinking about, we lead you to this result, but be the foresight to your buyer, says this is going to be your next problem and I'm here to help you solve it. That can be, again, that 20% expansion sizzle extra. And it can also be a referral that you pass to a strategic partner and still create revenue out of. Because your clients want to win. And you, as a business owner, I hope for the love of God, you want repeatable success. Because that's what I am desiring for you. I am here to help you amplify your message to create not one step, but lots of steps of ripples, lots of client growth, not just one. And I hope you have the same heart for who you serve as a client. Final thing that you can do in that real creative piece is you can energize it. You can add what you do into new spaces. So that's taking existing stuff and finding new markets. Maybe that is through partnerships, joint ventures. You could add new sectors, but you can look laterally for new revenue sources. So my friends, I want you to hear this. You do not need to be in constant creation mode in business to win, unless you're in the beauty industry. I'm going to say caveat because I spent my time in that sector. I have been with all the fashion labels, and creativity, they lead it season by season. But for everybody else, 80% is your goal line. You want a core offering. Who are you? What do you stand for? How do you serve? How will you win? What makes you the must hire? And you want to repeat that pattern for the life of your business, because that is what you're selling. Because the problem with so much creation is that you focus on creation and then you go, ta-da! Oh my God, I bought into the business hope strategy. I'll launch it. They will come. It's a disaster in the making. I am constantly telling my creative clients, that's great that you've created a new product. Who is buying it? That's great that you put a new offer into the market. Where's your list of buyers? You are imagining a market that you haven't created. I made this mistake early in my career. It cost me $10,000 and a year of time. Learn from me and don't make the same mistake. You want to still be creative, but creative in the incremental, creative in the 20% of sizzle, and creative in a space that you gave yourself space to breathe. Because I am watching people be overwhelmed, discouraged, exhausted because they're on the hamster wheel. One of the most important tenements of business I can gift you is, I want you to focus on movement. You've heard this a lot on this platform. Focus on the movement, incremental. Movement is what builds momentum. And get out of the hokey pokey, stop, start energy. Because an object in motion stays in motion more easily than constantly starting from new. New is highly overrated. If you are creating new every other day, it's because you do not have a strategy, you do not have clarity, and you do not have the business fundamentals. Stop throwing spaghetti at the wall. The fastest path through that is a conversation with me, because I tell people, I've just told this to a recent client that hired me, I am not betting on your business idea. Because chances are high we will evolve that business idea through incremental creativity. And so I'm not betting on that. I'm betting on you. I'm betting on your ability to think, to move, to be incremental, and to stay the game to build 80% capacity. And if I don't think you're that, you will never get an offer from me. But boy, is it fun when you are. So I am Christine Campbell Rapin. I want you to win. I want you to build that 80% capacity so that you have the flexibility of 20%. And I want you to have a pipeline of consistent client growth so that you don't feel like a one-hit wonder, so that you don't feel like you are constantly wondering where the next client is coming from, and so that you are confident that the actions you take are pulling a next buyer towards your service. And then when you see them, you know what to do with them. Business growth can be elegantly simple. It is not effortless. If you need to be a client, it's time for a conversation. Come find me, ChristineCampbellRapin.com, and be back here next week for another great episode. We're going to bring you the resources that deliver results. Because, my friends, it's go time. I will see you there. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit ChristineCampbellRapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.